Hey guys, VideoJames, and we're doing another showcase today, and this time, the showcase is actually going to be doing, the showcase we're going to be doing is going to be on my Bumblebee figures. So I got all my Bumblebee figures that I have currently just kind of lined up here, and I'm going to be doing a showcase on them. I'm going to be doing a showcase of them in their vehicle form and their regular robot mode, but not all of them are going to be able to be transformed into robot mode because the 1974 Camaro Bumblebee does kind of have a few pieces that are broken to it, that the door on one of its sides, I think it's this side, the door on this side is broken to where I can actually kind of just take it off. So you see, yeah, that. And I can't figure out where the piece went or anything, but that's what the door does. And the leg also broke, because this piece was what was keeping the joint in, so now the joint for the right leg doesn't stay in. And it's everything on the right side is what broke for that Bumblebee. I don't know why. But anyway, we're going to get on to this. So we have, the first one we have lined up here is the War for Cybertron Bumblebee, and this is actually one of my favorites. You guys have seen this before in the review I did of it. I do really like the design of this one. This is actually one of my favorites just because it's got the red and the kind of stripes going around it, but it also has got that black and yellow balance, and I do like the kind of vehicle design to it. They did base a lot of Transformers off of the Bumblebee vehicle model in War for Cybertron, that a lot of the vehicles had kind of the same frame as Bumblebee. And then moving on, we got the 1974 Camaro. This is, again, the one that's broke. This one, they didn't actually tint the windows on. They had them painted, so it's just like blue paint all over. I really love the racing stripes on this one. The racing stripes on this are probably my favorite on any of the Bumblebees. I really love this one because 1974 Camaro is like my dream car. That is the car I want to own one day. And this one just looks absolutely awesome. I like how the missiles back here kind of turn into like tailpipes or something. And he does actually have kind of convenient little storage for him that they don't really get in the way of anything. They kind of make the bottom look more like an actual car. You can see it's kind of, it's got his head right there. It's kind of just got that black paint on it. They did paint the eyes on this one, and they gave him the black painted face as well, which I didn't really like. Then we see we got the silver Autobot logo with his license plate right there. He doesn't have the same letters on his license plate that he does on all his other figures that we see on the Racing Bumblebee, or not Racing Bumblebee, there was one Bumblebee that had, yeah, on the Nitro Bumblebee we see he's got the 900 Strat. Well, you can't really see that because it's all blurry, but we see he's got the 900 Strat, and this one has something different. It's like, what is that? It's 4NZ Z454. So I don't know where they got that from. Will you stop busting apart, will you? You know what? Screw it. You're just going to sit like that for now. And then I have a G1 Bumblebee over here. This one actually they made with white instead of black. That the areas that would have been black, they made white instead. And he does have the little stripes up here. And I do kind of like it, that it's a different take on the Bumblebee. What I really like about this figure is that it's got the doors. The doors are made in a way to that he has a giant gun. And you can put the doors out a little bit, like you were almost trying to transform him. And then you just attach the giant gun, and he can just sit there and just have a gun while he's driving, like he's one of the Stealth Force figures. Just like the High Nitros Bumblebee, that he's got the Mech Tech weapon, that he's got 3 slots for that. This one kind of has the same thing, but in a different form, that he's got 2 doors so you can just stick a weapon on. And then we see we have the Transformers Robot in Disguise Bumblebee. This one does actually have blue tinted windows, and it is actually one of the few that I've seen that have that. I don't really know what vehicle model this is. I'm not going to pretend to know what vehicle model this is, because I could never figure out what vehicle model this was in the show. But it does a really good job of keeping it looking like a car. It's got a big giant storage on the bottom. And we see he's got the racing stripes here with the kind of vents up in the front of the hood, which some Bumblebees have and some of them don't. And then we have the Racing Bumblebee over here, which is a variant of the Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Bumblebee. And I actually like this one just because, this is my favorite, just because it has the original body style. Oh no, it's my second favorite. High Nitro is my favorite. But this one's my second favorite just because it's got like the original sort of Bumblebee design that's not super bulky and weaponized, and it's not all kind of geared up for a war, and it's just kind of the original Bumblebee. And then we got High Nitros over here that we've seen High Nitros before in one of my reviews as well. We see that on the bottom, he's got all his robot parts, and then up top is where all the vehicles are. He does actually have blue tinted windows as well, so him and the robots in disguise, Bumblebee, are actually two figures that have that. They did make the stripes on the hood, instead of just making them pure black, they made them a kind of grayish with little dots like you would see on a racing car. And we see he's got all these kind of wires going around, and they all kind of move back towards these nitro boosters, which I kind of don't really understand because B never had nitro boosters in the movies. But he also has this little mech tech weapon up top that you pull the trigger back and it kind of just extends out into a machine gun, or whatever kind of gun that is. It is really hard to get this gun to move out sometimes. I don't really know why. And then finally, we actually have the Age of Extinction ripoff Last Night Bumblebee. Now, I actually did buy this one just because I had a collector's impulse. It was super cheap at the Walmart I got it at, and it was just extremely cheap. They still have the clear tinted windows. I don't really like that. I wish they had the blues a little bit, but it kind of makes it look more real, because in reality, blue tinted windows aren't always a thing. Again, I don't like how they have the black all forced up onto the top here, and then we can see on the bottom that we have part of B's body showing up. We have his little helmet folded down, which I always do when I put him into vehicle mode. We got his little unexplained ninja stars here that we still got no clue what these are for, and I honestly can't explain it. I have no clue. But anyway, we're going to get on the transformation sequence, and like I said, only about 6 of these figures are going to get transformed actually, so I will see you guys when that is done. And here we are, not but a little 10 minutes later, I have them all transformed. That took inordinately longer than I thought it would. Usually I can get like one of them transformed in the span of a minute, and there's 6 of them. So I should have been done like 3 minutes ago. But anyway, we see we got them all transformed. I'm going to start out the showcasing of the robot modes with the Age of Extinction repaint. Like I said, there's not as much black on this one as the original Age of Extinction. This one doesn't have as much black on it. It's also a lighter kind of yellow. The faceplate, I can't actually get it when I'm holding the Kindle as well, but the faceplate actually comes down on this one. So you can see this one actually has a faceplate, and he's got a little arm cannon in there that you can just kind of switch, which I like that they didn't have a giant weapon stored somewhere on this one, but the little wheels still kind of annoy me a lot. Like, I still don't see the purpose of them, and they just annoy me. The the ankles on this one look really skinny for a Bumblebee. It looks like you could just kick his ankle with a pebble and it would go down. That his entire ankle would just collapse. He's got his chest compartment here, which is actually where the front of the hood is stored. If I pull this out, then you guys can actually see that the hood front kind of just slides out of there and then goes down. And it's hidden away for robot mode. But yeah, this one I actually like more now that I have it. When I was reviewing it before, I didn't really like it that much, but now that I actually have it, it's a bit more favorable. And then we see we got the Generation 1 Bumblebee over here. He is actually a kind of cool looking one. He doesn't have much backpack on him, but he does still kind of got that bulky upper body and the bulkier legs, as well as that giant cannon that looks too big for him. Like, that giant gun looks too big for this tiny little figure. And then we see this Bumblebee actually does have the little horns, that this one is actually one of the Generation 1 figures that had horns on him. And Cybertron Bumblebee has that as well. And if you scratch this little Autobot symbol, or scratch it, if you rub it with a warm surface enough, it'll actually show the Autobot logo. And then we have the High Nitro Bumblebee over here. We see that he's got a lot of Bumblebee design in him. The doors actually come up here and kind of fold up, which I kind of like. I like how they actually kept the wheels up here. Like, they had a different transformation sequence for this one, but they still found a way to kind of keep the wheels in their original placing. And I like how they kind of took, like, all the parts that were all just, like, random extra parts on the original Bumblebee, and they kind of made them an actual part of the paint job. And they did it in a way that kind of makes it where it would look like it is actually how it's supposed to be, that they don't really look too out of place, and they actually did a really nice job. I like the detail that they have behind the wheels. The wheels have a lot of detail behind them, like they got the little gear imprints and all that. And then the gun over there just kind of looks perfect right where it's at. The Chevy symbol on this one is actually pure gold, which I didn't notice until now, so that's kind of offset from real Chevy, because real Chevys have, like, silver around the gold, but I'm not going to dwell too much on that, because I don't really care about that tiny detail that much. And then we have the Racing Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee. This one is actually really nice. I like this one a lot. It does kind of maintain the original Bumblebee design, that it's kind of got that less bulky design, unlike the Nitro Bumblebee. And, like, he has all the extra little parts, like he's got the doors and the roofs, and he's got these little shoulder pads, and they all kind of just are able to be detached, but they don't really want to. And he's got that kind of door design. I like the door placement on this one better than on Nitro, just because they look more like they would on actual Bumblebee. And I do like how you can kind of just put them at any angle you want. Like, you can have them parallel to the body, or you can have them kind of that triangle angle. And we see that he's got, like, one black stripe going down his front. We see he's got the kind of silver paint, not too much of detail on the license plate. I kind of wish they'd put a little bit more detail there. The legs, again, kind of flimsy, but kind of making up for it with the wheels. The ankles, really skinny again. I do like the kind of backing that they put on the legs, that they kind of try to keep that as close to the actual movie Bumblebee as possible. But he is actually one of my favorites. He does have very nice design and very good attention to detail. And then we see War for Cybertron. Again, you guys have seen this already, but I'm just going to show it to you again anyway. So we see we got War for Cybertron Bumblebee. We got the nice coloration that we don't really have silver anywhere. That wasn't really advertised on the body like we have with this one. That it's either black, yellow, or red, and then silver on the face. And then we see we got the little Energon blades, and he is supposed to have a little pistol, but I don't have that anymore. I lost it. And I do like how the legs kind of hide the wheels, because that's what Bumblebee's legs should do. That in every incarnation of Bumblebee, the legs kind of hide the wheels off. Like we saw on this one, that the wheels are kind of slightly hidden by the legs, but not really. And then we see this one that the legs are completely encasing the wheels. And we saw on the Age of Extinction one that the wheels were actually pushed back into here, and I do kind of like that. I like that they kind of made it a little bit more stealthy with the wheels on this one, that they kind of found a way to better hide these. And then the last one we have is the Transformers Robots in Disguise Bumblebee. I'm not really a big fan of this one. I don't really like the body model of this one. I don't really like the prospect of Bumblebee just always using a giant sword. He doesn't even really hold the sword all that well. That the hands kind of aren't built to hold it. That they're built for like a different weapon, and the sword kind of just twists out and fall down. And we see the wheels down here and the legs. They actually did a really good job on the legs. They got the little vents down here that were on the hood. They're now down here. We see he's got a tiny little bit of backpacking. The doors do kind of just fold up like that, which I wish they were kind of more of at an angle so the doors could be like they were on that Bumblebee. But they still look good. They still kind of give off that wing design. And we see he's got a little bit of back package back here, but it's not really all that much. It's kind of just upper body. And that's pretty much it for that Bumblebee. I don't really like the head design on this one either. That on the head design, they made the crest on the top of his head way too massive. I can't get it to stand up. Stand. There we go. But that is my Bumblebee showcase. 1974 Bumblebees kind of just sitting over there, all kind of disfigured. Yeah, well, you broke. That's what you get. You break, you get kind of cast out. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I'll leave links in the description to check out all these Bumblebee figures if you guys want to check them out for yourself. I don't know if the Generation 1 Bumblebee over there and the Racing Bumblebee will actually be sold by themselves. I think they might have been part of 2-packs separately. But I don't know. But anyway, I'm leaving this video here. If you guys liked it, you can slap the like button as always, and I will see you guys later.